Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Perfect Blue, our monthly movie. Sorry I'm getting to this so late again this month. Just haven't really had the time with the move and everything. But I'm getting to it now, so yeah. um, so Perfect Blue is a classic Satoshi Kon movie. It's supposed to be kind of a mindfuck movie, which kind of works with some of Satoshi Kon's works. And it's supposed to be one of those movies that I've heard some kind of different reviews on. I've heard some people really love it and stand by it as one of the greatest anime movies of all time. Some people actually think it's extremely overrated and not that good. And then there's some people who are just kind of in the middle. So it's kind of a divisive movie in that way. There's all kinds of different viewpoints on it, and I like that. I actually prefer it when a movie is differentiating in its viewpoints. Because when movies tend to be like veering towards completely one side, like for example, if a movie tends to be so universally acclaimed that pretty much everyone says it's great, it ends up being a disappointment. If it's a movie that is so universally hated, everyone says is bad, that ends up just automatically making you not want to see it. And when you do, it just automatically is going to be better than you expect. Because it both can't live up to the hype when it's too overly hyped, and it can't like live down, I guess, to the negative feedback when it's too negative. It's never going to live to either direction. I like it when a movie is more just divisive like this because it allows for a more natural viewing reaction. I don't have to go into it and expect it to be that great necessarily. I don't have to expect it to be bad, though. I can just look at it from my point of view. And I try to do that anyways. But I admit there are occasions where my view is a little skewed. For example, movies like The Godfather. It's so universally acclaimed. It's one of the most universally acclaimed movies out there. And to a lot of people, one of the greatest movies of all time. When I saw it, it's like, yeah, okay, this is good. But it's not, like, great. It's not that great. It has a lot of issues with it. And I stand by that. I stand by those thoughts. But, yeah, a lot of that was it not living up to the hype. And then there's movies, like I said, universally hated that I end up liking or even loving because it's like my mind instantly wants to, kind of in this almost like rebellious way. So I'm just hoping that I can view this movie for what it is. And I try to do that with all movies, but especially with this. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Now, you may notice we are in the living room today, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, I thought it'd just be easier to record a movie reaction out here just because, well, it's more comfortable, to be honest. My chair in my bedroom isn't, like, uncomfortable, but it's definitely not something I want to sit in for, like, too long if I can help it. Plus, if I'm being honest, I had my power cord out here and I didn't want to move it into my room. So yeah. As for what I know about Perfect Blue, other than being a mindfuck Satoshi Kon movie, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the characters. I don't know anything about the general plot. I don't know anything. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad to keep it as spoiler-free as possible and go into it as uninformed and blind as I can. Now, there is a dub for this movie, but I have chosen to watch the original Japanese version. And my decision to do so is based pretty much solely on the voice actors. there was only one voice actor I knew in the entire movie, at least that I know by name, and that was Wendy Lee. Everyone else, literally every other single voice actor in this movie, at least the ones that are named on the listings and all, I didn't know a single one of them. And again, at least by name, I didn't look too deeply into their filmographies and whatnot. But either way, even if I did know them, it probably wouldn't be for like major roles or anything I'd be really excited to see or hear, I guess. So we're doing the original Japanese for this one. And as a reminder, we will be doing the randomizer and everything for the next poll in the afterthoughts. So after the break and everything, after you watch the movie, come back here and we're going to be doing the randomizer for the new poll and everything at that time. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this because this is one of those big anime movies. Even though it's a bit divisive in terms of what people think of it, it's still one of those big name anime movies that people just like, even the people who don't like it say you should at least see it. It's something that you should at least check out. Kind of in the same way as Cowboy Bebop. Something you should at least check out. Even if you don't end up liking it, at least give it a chance. So, we're going to do just that. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie, rather. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I am not ashamed to admit this. I had to look things up after that reaction before getting into these afterthoughts because I was so confused. I had no idea what was real and what was not. So it turns out the stalker guy, Me Mania, was a scapegoat. He was a red herring. He was just a creepy stalker. And Rumi was the true fake diarist. She was the one who was doing the fake diary entries, creating the website and everything. And that was really her in the end chasing the real Mima through the city. And it was really Mima. It wasn't like that situation where it's like, oh no, she just thinks she's Mima. That's just a personality. No. That was just Mima losing track of reality. So it was really Mima. And Rumi was the bad guy. And in the end, Rumi was still crazy and put into a asylum, basically, a home, while the real Mima had finally gotten her grip on reality back and everything. And so when we saw, like, the one guy being killed by Mima, that was actually Rumi. Rumi was the one doing the killings, and everything, because she believed herself to be the real Mima, and that the actual real Mima was a fake who was ruining the reputation. And that's why all these other people were killed as well. She felt that they were ruining Mima, they were tarnishing Mima's reputation and all. So that's pretty interesting. And the fake Mima that we've seen all this time, the one in the Cham outfit, was actually Rumi, apparently. At least part of the time. Some of the time it was probably a hallucination, but yeah, so what do I think of this film? I actually liked it. Despite my excessive confusion, especially going towards the end, I actually really liked it. I thought it was a really fascinating movie. I like how it delved into the possibility of multiple personality disorder. I like how it was very psychologically driven. A lot of it was based entirely on psychological issues and whatnot, which is definitely a Satoshi Kon thing to do. The characters were interesting, and, you know, there was a part, like, in the first half where I was actually thinking, what if Rumi's the actual bad guy in this? Um, but I was kind of thinking like, okay, this is not going to go. I was thinking this is not going to go where I think it's going to go. So I'm trying to think of how it can twist. What could be the twist? And it was that it was Rumi. It was that it was Rumi all along. She was the fake Mima, the fake Mima who believed herself to be the real Mima. um, so yeah, I was kind of right on that. I didn't expect it to go the way it did, though, and I didn't expect it to have the exact specifications with how the twist was going to work. Um, the art and animation, the art style is a little weird on some of the characters. The Stalker, who, according to this, his real name was Uchida, by the way. I think I might have missed that. Yeah, apparently his real name was Mamoru Uchida. I think I just missed that. But the art style for him and for Rumi as well seemed very off, like the way their eyes were, especially. They seemed too far apart, which I think, now that I think about it, was done very much on purpose, because I think they're the only two characters who were like that. I think that that art style choice was actually telling us from the beginning that they were the bad guys, that Rumi was a bad guy here. And if so, if that was done intentionally, that's actually brilliant. Because I thought it was just a weird character design. But if that was done intentionally to kind of hint us in that she was the bad guy, I actually really like that. um, but yeah, otherwise, all the other characters were like, their art style was fine. The animation for its time was kind of what I would expect. It was good, but I wouldn't call it anything amazing. The voice acting was pretty good. Again, nothing amazing with the voice acting either, though. The soundtrack, the soundtrack, the audio work, phenomenal though. Like seriously, that was definitely a highlight to the movie. It just knew exactly how to tense up a situation with its audio. And the music itself that played at certain scenes just really worked, especially in terms of setting the tone of the scene. Uh, I really did enjoy the fact that this movie blurred the lines of reality and fiction. I thought that was a good idea, and it handled it well. I thought that it by making us as the viewer unsure of what's real and what's not as well, it actually it not only succeeds in what it's setting out to do in, creating this narrative that really makes you have to think, but it also gives a new layer to it by having the viewers really have to wonder like what they're actually seeing and what is real, what is fake, what is just part of Mima's imagination and all. Some of the characters in this seemed kind of inconsequential, like Mima's former pop idol friends. They seem to have almost no relevance to the story. They were just kind of there as kind of, not really plot devices, but as background characters to kind of fuel Mima's, her own character. The other members of the production crew on the series that they were working on, which was apparently, I also somehow missed this, I guess. It was a direct-to-video series. A lot of the members of the crew were just kind of okay to me. None of them really stood out. They all did have personalities. I'm not saying they didn't, but none of them really, like, struck me as these great characters. It was mostly about the main three. It was mostly about Rumi, Uchida, and Mima. It was about those three. Those three had the most personality, the most character. Just everything seemed to focus on them. Now, the overall just entertainment value, I guess you could say, of this movie, there were a couple times where it seemed like it was a little slow, and there were a couple parts of it that that I was confused about just in general, in terms of like, okay, what's really happening here? And there was a couple parts even where I'm like, wait, would that actually work? Like, there's the part where Uchida is trying to rape Mima, and she responds by grabbing the hammer and smacking him in the head with it. And it's like, would that actually kill him? And from what I've looked up and everything, that actually is what killed him. Would that work, though? And it's like, I'm not quite sure just one hit would kill him. Like, I understand she probably hit him very hard, of course, in self-defense and all. But a single hit, it would have to have hit in the exact right place with the exact right amount of force to do a lot of damage against him. And even so, I don't know if it would just straight up kill him. I don't know. And the movie was trying to make us like kind of veer away from the idea that Rumi would be the bad guy by having her seem so caring about Mima and everything. She seemed like she was so caring and concerned about Mima's well-being to the point where it's like, oh, no, she's not the bad guy. But I mean, that's kind of what a lot of shows and movies and whatnot do. They try to make the actual bad guy seem sympathetic and likable. It's a smart tactic. um, yeah, it's just, there's a lot that I question with this. And I think I need to see some reviews or maybe some explanation videos. But overall, like I said, I did really enjoy this. I thought it was a really interesting, thought-provoking movie. Um, it wouldn't be anywhere near my favorite for anime movies. If I had to give it a ranking, like just out of 10, based off of my initial thoughts here, I'd probably say somewhere around an 8. Um, it's definitely not what I would call one of the best, but it's good. It's just, I've seen better and I've seen ones I've liked more. Let's just put it that way. But tell me in the comments below what you thought of Perfect Blue. And now we have to move on to the next randomizer poll. So let me get that up real quick, because we have to determine what our next movie reaction for the month of July will be. So give me a second. I got the website up, but I also have to get the list of all the movies. Now that's the anime list. Where's the movie list? There it is. As always, with movies, we will do 6 options. Because movies, we always do one more than, hold on, let me get rid of Perfect Blue from the list. I just noticed that. We always do one more than like with shows. Come on. Okay. So now I just have to get this up on the OBS. There we go. Okay. So, bring this down a little bit. So as you can see, we have our list put in there. I will scroll through the list real quick to show you what's in here once again. You can pause it at any time if you want to get a better look. Okay. We will need to add more on this list eventually, so if you have any suggestions for other movies, please let me know. And with movies, try to keep them animated if you can, but if you want to see me react to a live action one, try to make it like one that's on Netflix or something. Either way, let's randomize. Our top 6 will be the winners and will be on the poll, which will also be in the description below, by the way. Okay, so here are our top 6 options. I'll move over here a little bit. First up, we have From Up on Poppy Hill. That is a Studio Ghibli film. I don't know much of anything about it, though. We have Bayonetta Bloody Fate, a movie based on the Bayonetta video games. We have Vixen, the movie, which I believe is a short film based on the DC superhero Vixen. Constantine, City of Demons, a movie, an animated movie about the DC character John Constantine. We have Digimon Adventure Tri number 3. I have seen the first 2 of the Digimon Adventure Tri movies, so number 3 is on here. And our final option is To the Forest of the Firefly Lights, which I do not remember what that is. I believe it's an anime movie, and I think it's on Netflix, though. But yeah, those are our 6 options this time. We've got a couple that have been on there before, and a couple that haven't. So that's always good. We have a good set this time, I feel. So yeah, the link to the poll will be down in the description below, and I can just take this off now. It'll be down in the description below, so please vote, share it around social media, get other people to vote. And yeah, I hope that next month's we can get to a little earlier. But yeah, like I said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of Perfect Blue for this month, and thank you all so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,